I have discovered a metric that gives a 97% confidence level in predicting which party will win the presidency. More on that in a minute, but I'm going to tell you what does not predict the presidency, which is what everyone is talking about. No one's talking about this one method, but they are talking about this other method, and that is betting markets. Everyone believes that betting markets can predict the future. And first off, I don't understand this because betting markets are just people gambling money. And gamblers, by and large, do not make good predictions. And Polymarket, more than any other betting market, can be very widely manipulated. So if you don't know what this is, Polymarket is a website where you're not in the United States, you're not supposed to, but people probably do, but using crypto, you can bet on who is going to win the presidency. Now, what you can do with this one that you can't do with any other betting market is you can have an unlimited amount of the bet. So that means that on some you have a betting amount limit. So you can only bet like $800 on one website. On this website, you can bet up to an infinite amount. And people have done that, which has completely shifted the market. And there's been some reporting on this. So when you see this number here that says Donald Trump has, and this figure has been going all around the internet, so that's why I want to talk about this. Donald Trump has a 60% shot of winning the presidency, according to this. It is just a bunch of gamblers gambling, and it's also, according to the Wall Street Journal, a mystery. $30 million wave of pro-Trump bets has moved a popular prediction market. This one I just showed you. The surge is a mirage manufactured by a group of four Polymarket accounts that have collectively pumped about 30 million of crypto into bets that Trump will win. There's a strong reason to believe that they are the same entity. And so the question is, why would they want to do this? And that is to do the same thing that Republicans are doing with polls. And if you don't know this, Republicans in 2022 did this. They're doing it now in 2024. They flood the nation with these junk polls so that they change the averages to be more in favor of a Donald Trump win, or in 2022's case, a Republican congressional hold. And so they're doing that here, where they're trying to change the perception of who would win the presidency in the hopes of suppressing our turnout and motivating their base. I actually don't think that's actually very helpful. I think one of the reasons Hillary Clinton lost is because everyone thought it was a sure thing. Think about it, the people who were like, it's a sure thing. I got to go pick up my kids. Hillary's got it. Probably thousands of people like that. So I'm not sure this is a great thing for them to do, but that's one reason why. But also, well, $30 million might seem costly. It is sufficient to swing the odds in Polymarket and not a large outlay for a deep-pocket individual seeking to influence the election managing partner. So it's also someone who might not be an American, who is a foreign person looking to influence the way people are perceiving the election. And the betting spree has echoes. This is not the first time this has happened. In 2012, there was something very similar. You might not remember it, but the betting spree has echoes of the Romney whale, an unknown trader who placed a flurry of bets on Mitt Romney victory during the closing weeks of the 2012 election using InTrade, and now defunct prediction market. The trader lost nearly $7 million, according to a 2015 paper by a pair of economists from Microsoft and Barnard College. The authors concluded that the bets had characteristics of manipulation potentially aimed at shaping public perceptions. So this isn't the first time this happened. It doesn't mean that it's going to influence public perception to the point of someone winning or losing based on this, but just know that this is happening. But also know, what I want to show you too, is that there are actually real indicators that show who is going to win. Betting markets have been around for a decade, maybe 15 years, right? But this figure I'm going to show you has been around since the 1800s and has a 97% confidence rating in predicting who will win the presidential election. So what is that figure? Well, Drudge is reporting that it gives Kamala Harris a 72% chance of winning. And here's what it is. The stock market says that Kamala Harris is going to be the next president of the United States. The Dow's indication of who will win the presidency deserves to be taken seriously. So let's talk about it. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is a strong year-to-date return translates to a 72% probability the Democratic candidate for president, Kamala Harris, will win the presidency in November. Notably, like I said, 72% probability of a Democratic victory is a lot higher than the betting markets, which gives a 43% chance of her winning. Now, they make the point that betting markets are very new, like I just said, but they have data. The Dow Jones has data that goes back more than 30 presidential elections, dating back to the late 1800s. I calculate that the correlation between the Dow's year-to-date return through mid-October and the incumbent party's chances of winning are significant at a 97% confidence level. The greater the stock market's year-to-date return going into the presidential election, the greater the chances the incumbent party will win. Consider, in all years in which the Dow's year-to-date gain as of October 15th was greater than 10%, like this year, with the Dow up 13.4% as of October 15th, the incumbent party won 78% of the time. When the year-to-date gain was positive but below 10%, the incumbent party won 60% of the time. When the Dow in mid-October was sitting on a year-to-date loss, the incumbent party's chances of winning fell to 42%. You might think that this year is proving to be an exception since sentiment has been weak as the stock market has been strong, but when I conducted a head-to-head statistical test of consumer sentiment and the stock market, the latter came out ahead in being a better predictor of presidential election outcomes. The bottom line, the Dow's indication of who will win the presidency deserves to be taken seriously. And it's something literally no one is talking about. No one is talking about. And you know what else no one is talking about? That Donald Trump is polling historically low with white women, which is the largest voting bloc in America. He cannot lose that demographic. And there's been a lot of back and forth about how Kamala Harris is losing support among black male voters, but they make up about 6% of the population. White women make up about 38% of the voting population, okay? So percentage swings among white women can be a difference maker in this election. Let's just watch a little bit about that because I find it fascinating.
Let's take a look here. The GOP's margin among white women. Look, Romney won him by 9, all right? Trump in 2016 won him by 6. You go back 4 years ago, Trump won him by 7. Look now, look how much lower Trump's margin is among white women. Look, he still leads, but it's well within the margin of error. It's just a point. He's doing 6 points worse than he did 4 years ago. In fact, he's doing the worst, if this holds, for a GOP candidate this century among white women, John.
Well, how much do white women matter in the electorate?
So this is the whole thing, right? How much do they matter? If you were to break it down, white women, white men, women of color,
36%.
men of color, white women make up the plurality of the electorate, 36%. So, you know, yesterday we were talking about those massive gains that Donald Trump was making among black men, black women. But the bottom line is they actually make up a considerably smaller portion of the electorate than white women do. So when we're talking about 5, 6 point shifts, 7 point shifts in Kamala Harris's direction, we're talking about that among a major part of the electorate, and that can actually move the overall electorate more than ginormous shifts among a considerably smaller part of the electorate.
You can just
John.
do the math. More than double the impact.
So there's a lot. So again, we've said this before on the channel. I'm going to say it again. There is the incentive of the mass media to make it feel close, because if it feels close, you click and you watch the ads, okay? And my prediction is Kamala Harris is going to win this thing. And it probably won't even be that close when everything is said and done, because it's all just looking like it's heading towards that direction. You look at the enthusiasm, you look at this historic shedding of voters, whether it be white women, whether it be Republicans, if you look at the economy, if you look at all this different stuff, even just Donald Trump's performances, the way that he's hiding from voters, he's hiding from interviews, he's only talking to a very small group of voters, the people that are already voting for him. It's not looking great for him. It's looking great for us.
I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?